All right, this video is all about the 5 things that I wish I personally knew before I moved to Abbotsford, BC. Stick around to the end where I give you my number 1 thing that I wish I knew before I moved to Abbotsford, BC. And let's get into it. All right, I'm That Agent Kelly. I post about Abbotsford and Canadian real estate. Post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. As well as if you're thinking about moving to Abbotsford or you just want to, maybe you just want to chat, I don't know. You can scroll down in the description, click on my calendar link, and you can book a call right into my calendar with me. All right, so the number 1 thing I wish I knew. Abbotsford has very little traffic actually within the city of Abbotsford. However, when you're leaving Abbotsford, there is quite a bit of traffic, or often quite a bit of traffic heading west towards Surrey or Vancouver. Now, I knew this obviously before I moved to Abbotsford because I only lived 30 minutes away in Surrey. However, what I didn't know is how often there actually is traffic. There's not only traffic during rush hour times on weekdays, but there's also somehow traffic randomly at like 12 p.m. on a Saturday or Sunday, 5 p.m. on a Sunday. It doesn't really matter. You can literally run into traffic at any time. And overall, it's not that bad. Like, it's definitely not any, Los Angeles traffic. It's just kind of, a 30-minute drive turns into a 45-minute or an hour drive, and a 45-minute drive turns into an hour and 15 or an hour and a half drive. I got used to it pretty quick, but it's definitely something that I wish I knew before I moved here. I'll literally be coming back from camping on, during the middle of the summer and hit traffic. So that's just something that I wish I knew before I moved to Abbotsford. Number 2, it rains here a lot, precisely 174 days a year. I've seen as high as 185 days a year, but I guess for 2022, it's 174 days. And honestly, it feels like a lot more than that. Like 174 to me is surprising. It feels like, maybe 280 days a year. We get nearly 1,500 millimeters of rain every single year, and we are the rainiest city in the Fraser Valley. Not by much, we get a couple extra days of rain in comparison to the other cities here in the valley. But what I didn't know before I moved here is that it got precisely 21 days more rain per year than Surrey, BC, which is where I came from. So that's something that I wish I knew. Number 3, please subscribe if you're enjoying this content and you want to see more content just like it. And if that's not too much to ask, if you could just drop a like so I can get this content out to more people who care about Abbotsford and Canadian real estate. So number 3, the overall ethnic makeup of Abbotsford. Now, this isn't something that I wish I knew because that would just sound absolutely terrible, but I think it's something important that a lot of people moving to Abbotsford would probably want to know before they moved here. So West Abbotsford is predominantly South Asian, mostly Punjabi people, whereas East Abbotsford is predominantly of a Caucasian makeup. But there actually is a bit of an Asian community, or I guess an Asian demographic located within East Abbotsford too, and I'd say most of that demographic is made up by Vietnamese, from what I've seen anyways. And then Central Abbotsford and South Abbotsford, which is Poplar, it's pretty much a mix of everybody. There's no real one ethnicity or one ethnic group that sticks out more than the rest. I'd say it's pretty even of I don't know, what's that word they use, like a melting pot or whatever? A melting pot of all the ethnicities. That's a pretty diverse area, South Abbotsford and Central Abbotsford. So that's just something you might want to know before you move here. Number 4, so although I find Abbotsford to be a very safe place to live, it does have one of the highest crime rates around here, and it might even be the highest crime rate out of all the cities in the Fraser Valley and Vancouver's metro area. However, it's not a lot of violent crime. It's just car break-ins and drugs and homelessness and stuff like that, and petty theft. But, I feel safe in Abbotsford. I don't feel threatened or anything like that living here. And if I were moving here with a family, there's probably just some neighborhoods that I would recommend staying away from. And one of them I'm actually living in right now, and that's why I wish I knew this before I moved here. But there are parts of Central Abbotsford I'd stay away from. Clearbrook, which it's not really West Abbotsford, it's kind of Central West Abbotsford, is not a great area. And then some good areas to raise a family. I really like East Abbotsford, although there's parts of East Abbotsford you might not want to be in, but for the most part, East Abbotsford. And I actually like South Abbotsford as well for raising a family. And then there's parts of West Abbotsford that are pretty good too. And here's number 5, something that I wish I knew before I moved here. It smells like cow poop in Abbotsford. Now, oddly enough, I don't like the smell because I connect that smell to living in the country or living in a rural area. And I actually grew up in a rural area of Surrey, and it's always kind of just been a dream, I guess, of mine, just kind of live off the grid. So, you know, nostalgically, I connect that smell to good feelings, which sounds weird. Connecting, you know, cow poop makes me feel good. But anyways, I don't mind the smell. But if I was moving here from out of town, that's something I would definitely want to know about. As well, every single summer, pretty well for the last 5 to 7 years, there have been massive forest fires in the Okanagan, which is 3 to 5 hours away from Abbotsford, depending on which area of the Okanagan you're going to. And because of that, smoke fills in the sky and the winds blow it down into the Fraser Valley and Greater Vancouver, and there will literally be weeks of summer where there is no sunlight and it just looks like overcast every day from all the smoke. Now, this isn't specific to just Abbotsford. Pretty much everywhere in the Fraser Valley and Vancouver's metro area has to put up with this. But if you're moving here from another province, this is something that you should know about, is that pretty much 3 weeks of the year in summer, or 2 or 3 weeks every summer, at least for the last 5 to 7 years, we have had straight up overcast from it just being so smoky outside from the Okanagan essentially being on fire. So anyways, if you are planning to move here, I'd love to be the guy to help you out with that. Again, you can book a call with me in the description. And please, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe. It really does help me out, and drop a like for the algorithm, and we will see you guys on the next video.